Logitech G, and Pay Safeguard. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Lanxess Arena awaits, and indeed, Big are looking to complete the dream. They've been unable to do it. This is the 5th year of ESL One Cologne, and those players have been watching from the sidelines as other players take to the German crowd. It is a wild stage for them in particular, and Fnatic stand in their way. And this is a Swedish roster, of course, all infamous in Counter-Strike for their successes and indeed some of their failings. Now they've made a roster change and looking to do something a bit different. Another AWPer stepping in, and JW committing to the rifle. I have analysts joining me. I have no other than Duncan Thor in shields, and the man with resolution like no other. We have Janko YNK Paunovic. So, gentlemen, this is an intriguing matchup for me because I'm, for some reason, still a bit of a big fanboy. As in, I'd like to see God be once again just surprised. Yeah, you have a bit of love for the team.
I do. No matter what people think.
I do. I acknowledge that there's a big black mark on their record for what happened in Krakow, where probably their biggest success happened. It was, of course, the exploit that they were using, and that does seem to be following them no matter where they go. Not possible now. Is this doable, though? I mean, how much have you actually taken a look at Big? I imagine they're not as much on your radar as Fnatic.
No, because the thing is, basically, until the Belo Horizonte event, like, there's no real reason anyone would look at them and say this is going to be a team that's going to be at Tier 1 events, they're going to do anything. Obviously, they had some decent performances there. Adding Smooya is obviously the big, interesting component, because this is someone where he is known to be a talented player. He's probably the best of the current crop of the UK players. Wasn't going to be able to accomplish much while staying in the UK. That's why he went to the Epsilon squad. And the thing that this team was always crying out for was more firepower. Like, if you listen to most of the analysts, most people would say, okay, Tapson was really good. Godby's a good in-game leader. But it's like, I always said this, you're not going to win if you have Godby and Legia in the same team. Like, they were both, like, one of them should be the in-game leader, one of them shouldn't be in the team. So they've sorted that out, actually. Now Legia is, like, in the coaching position. They've brought in Tizian, who we don't exactly know whether that's going to go down yet, because obviously he had his own issues when he first came in. But it's worth the try. And then bringing in Smooya, for me, now gives you actually some firepower. Now next just has to be your third best player. You can deal with that. He'll turn up sometimes. It's going to be very interesting, especially when you've got, to be honest, an opponent that probably don't know their own map pool and don't necessarily know how to integrate Draken in at the moment. So there's still a question mark there as well, Janko.
Yeah, I think map pool is going to be questionable, but this is going to be a typical game where you have a clash of styles, right? You have a free-flowing, loose Fnatic with more firepower and more individual skill, and you have the structure of Big. And funnily enough, I mean, these two styles counter each other. It comes down who's going to execute better, right? Because with good structure, you can, with strong defaults, you're not going to get picked off early on by the CT ops. For example, with good setups on the CT side, you're not going to allow opening kills like to get picked off again on that side. But as well, if you're Fnatic and you're aggressive on the CT side, you have to be disruptive. You can't let Big execute their default from start to finish. You have to try either early round or mid round, disrupt them, find out the weak spot where they left just one player to gather map information and play in a more aggressive manner. That's where, against teams like Big, you don't want to play a passive CT side.
Let's take a little look at this veto process. So already Fnatic have made it clear that Dust 2 homework hasn't been done, unless they are assuming Big have done oodles of it, but no Mirage and Dust 2.
Which inherently feels like such a, oversight from Fnatic not to play Dust 2 at all for a lineup like that that's super aggressive, that would love to run around, like
Blops,
the amount of work you need to do on Dust 2 to at least be able to play it so the decent level is not that big, and they do take the risk of as well letting Nuke through, right? Big played it once with this lineup versus Heroic and actually beat them handedly. So
Heroic as well, aren't they? Nuke kind of Nuke heroes.
And here's the thing, if you look at the maps that we're going to, all Big has to do to have a chance on a map is be able to play Overpass, Nuke, and as you see here, Cash. These are the maps that Fnatic, even when they were at their peak earlier in the year, they're just not playing these maps. So, I mean, admittedly, Exist obviously has a long tenure calling on Cash, but we don't know how this is going to work with the new lineup. Big's gone for it as like kind of the Joker pick. Fnatic picking Train. I don't even know that they're that strong on train, to be honest, but it's never really been a great big map in any of the lineups for me, so makes logical sense there. I want to see, though, are we going to get overpass as the third map? It looks like we actually are, because Fnatic doesn't want to play Nuke, so I feel like if you're big, you kind of like these 3 maps. These seem like the right maps for you.
Yeah, I think overpass, definitely, that they got that as a decider. It's a bit interesting for Fnatic to let that through as well towards the very end. You would expect them to go for something else maybe, but not that many choices, right? If you're not playing Dust 2 and Nuke, what are you going to do? You have to veto that and you have to deal with leftovers. So you do feel like Big won in this map pool. Veto.
And no Inferno as well. They're expanding their horizons. And Cash is going to be that first map. And we don't have too much time, but in terms of where Fnatic's victory would come from, if they could dash the dreams of Big Duncan, what would be those win conditions?
Well, first of all, you look at their squad. They've got all these veterans and playmakers. Exist has a long, long history, as I say, loving the Cash map when he was in an IP, obviously. So you would think it's actually a pretty good map for a loose style. If you have players who can play post plants, win clutch round situations, you're thinking of Crims, you're thinking of Flusher, this is going to give you a big chance. So I think for the big guys, it's their map pick, obviously. They have to come really prepared on this one. They have to have the executes. They have to have all their team play on point. They can't just be messing around thinking they're going to win a DM against Fnatic, I don't think.
Does that sound about right, Yanko? They need to be avoiding aim duels and avoiding one-on-ones to the best of their ability.
Yeah, as much as possible, or just try to put their players in advantageous situations when it comes to those duels, right? Not make it a 50-50 duel, make it a 70-30, because you can't avoid fights all game round. You know, for Fnatic on the other side of things, they have to be proactive on the CT side. You know, they have to be flashing into A main, you know, maybe pushing 3B early aggressively, getting into Squeaky. They can't just sit back, you know, play double up and hope for the best, because you know that Big, if anything, they're going to be super prepared for this tournament. They're going to have a deep playbook, a lot of different strategies, and you just can't sit back and think, yeah, if an A hit comes, we'll deal with it, because that's where their strong suit is.
Yeah, well, it's time to get this party started. It's a story of preparation versus aggression. We're going to see how Fnatic and Big do combine and collide, as the first map will be Cash. We'll get your casters up and they can give us their thoughts. Big versus Fnatic. We have Pansy and Moses joining us. Big in the Lanxess would be quite romantic. How realistic, though?
I mean, I think we've all realized by now that Cologne doesn't necessarily just cheer for, you know, the country it represents as such. It's not just we want a German team. The beauty of Cologne was always the fact it cheers for good CS. So as much as it is a nice storyline, we all like the idea of it, I don't think that's the case here. I just don't know what to expect from these two teams, especially stylistically against each other.
Well, that's the thing. If you're Big, obviously, you know, coming into that Liquid game, they obviously are going to have a lot of confidence, because Big's the team that likes to dig deep into like how an opposing team likes to play and directly counter that. And Fnatic has always been famous, these lineups, these players, of basically not being able to counter them because they do some crazy things. Sometimes they don't even know what they're going to be doing. It's a very loose play style. It's not going to be easy to read. And yeah, Big's going to be tested here, but they have some cool pieces. I mean, tabseN obviously has been around for a while, and we know how good he can be. And Smooya has been a really cool, I hesitate to say a revelation, but he's a very fun player to watch at the moment. You can see kind of what he can bring to the table. And they're going to go for a push right off the bat. Crims is patiently waiting, but misses his opportunity. Perhaps even caught off guard by the aggression, despite the fact that he was looking for it. tabseN is going to double down. Just narrowly gets away. They know this position. The longer that actually Big stays here, this is when, yeah, they're going to start swarming over, and that's exactly it. Caught into the trap. The initial aggression doesn't work, and they get busted up by Fnatic. That is a beautiful take in mid.
And when you say Fnatic, I think you mean JW. That's 3 for him very quickly into this matchup, removing the more firepower elements that came in. tabseN was having a good game thus far in the previous matches, and almost nothing really coming through for Big this time. Shut out by Fnatic, and we're never going to be surprised at Fnatic with firepower. We're never going to be surprised that we see JW hitting these shots. It's how far can that take them? Is there depth to be kind of falling back to? For now, though, Tizian's going to put a bit of a fight up. He does have the kit, but obviously no armor beside it. And he's got 4 players to get past, so not an easy one by any margin. And Crim's going to assure us of that. 3 for JW, 2 for Crims, and first on the board for Fnatic.
That's very nice. That is very cool. We have to keep in mind as well with this Fnatic team, this is, I mean, despite those firepower, despite the long-standing nature of this core, this is just one more team we have at this event that, I mean, is a new roster with Draken coming in, with Exist is still very fresh and new into this as the in-game leader. So, I mean, this isn't exactly, there's a lot of teams who are kind of adjusting on the fly at one of the biggest events in the year. And Fnatic here against Big gets that pistol round. Now they're going to have to survive the second round. A couple of CZs being purchased up. 1 nade on tabseN. They've got a P250 on Smooya. But not a whole lot of danger otherwise. No Deagles out there. And Fnatic staying grouped up. A lot of utility towards Forklift. soften up Tizzy, and one more nade going to be coming out. Draken eats a bullet to the face for his troubles, but he survives. And there goes a player with the nades, but Smooya responds immediately.
You also want players like Smooya to get those hot starts. You want him to maybe get some of these kills if he can, early game, maybe if it's, you know, against a team just on Eco, whatever it may be. Obviously, this isn't that case, but a younger player coming into the bigger tournaments, get them feeling confident, gets them feeling good about themselves. It's always a nice thing to have for him, but...
It's part of the, like, inexperience. It's the mental game, right? If you get off to a slow start, if you have, like, 3 rounds where you kind of get screwed by timing, are you going to be able to kind of reset in the middle of the match and still find a way to have impact?
We'll see if that could be maybe something down the line to look at. For now, though, we did seem to lose a player from Fnatic, I just saw, so there could be a pause after this. We'll see if that comes in, but they still need to go through this round regardless. Draken being taken pretty low. The double peek was really nice from sight then. Good work from Big to capitalize on that. I don't know if this round's going to go much further. They are getting more damage, though. Exist is being worked down by just a USP. This gets to that danger territory where those CZs do become incredibly powerful. That P250. Everything that Big's got could cause major issues. Keep eyes on the bomb, though. This could be swinging Smooya's way, so he needs to be prepared for this. Next, playing very passive, not going to be really peeking out towards mid. What is he going to get done with that? And they might have just read this one right. Exist, keeping God B humble. The push towards B is coming in. Now, Smooya might be able to get a spot on this, but he will probably get outdone by the rifles. Crims puts that into play, and it should be smooth sailing, at least to the plant.
Yeah, I mean, Smooya trying to kind of cheat the rotation over towards A if it was going to be needed. And actually, God B has an AK-47. If he finds Exist, they might have been able to go for this, but Exist makes the smart decision, doesn't push forward into the open. He's kind of teasing it right now. There's a good kill from God B, and yeah, there's still plenty of time if they actually want to attack this bomb site, and indeed they are. Oh no, they're going to slow down right at the last second. So wanting to bring that AK into the next round, not the worst decision in the world. Very close, though, when you look at Draken's HP. Remember, he was down to that health very early on in the round, and if they swung back towards B and Smooya was able to just find that one kill, there was some potential there for that to turn into a nice round for Big. Either way, some success, trying to find one last weapon, maybe trying to get some bonus money with the MAC-10. It's not going to happen here at the end of the round. And 2-0 for Fnatic. They survive a scare.
It did get a little dangerous. But it's round on the board for Big. You invested very little and got something out of it. A nice bonus.
By the way, we do have to give props to JW. Nice bit of shit-talking earlier today. This is a little clapback against Taka. I like that.
Yeah? You appreciate any bit of drama,
I love it all. I love every part of it.
That's why you need Smooya to get a bit Larry. Once he gets confident, he gets a little bit, you know.
I did message him after he said that in the interview, and I was like, please more. Please continue. On. Yeah, let's
give us some. Just get JW and Smooya, give it. That's a fun one, isn't it? We just need this now. They have kind of made Tabson the bit of a, you know, I guess the end boss here as much as they can. I say that, they've just given a bit of armor with the rifles still, and you can't blame him. He's probably the player you want with that right now. Beyond that, Eagles, CZs, they capitalized very nicely before with that sort of thing, but it looks like Fnatic have kind of tightened everything up here a little bit, been a little bit more meticulous, taking over mid-control, Molotov's being put out, just taking their time on this. Got to be this range with the CZ is very tough, going to fall away from this, maybe find something new to play with.
Tough part is because Fnatic has applied just a minimal amount of pressure at different locations across the map. They can't really read where they're supposed to put Taps and where he is going to be positioned to be put into play, and now Fnatic spots the AK-47. That should be the signal, just hit this B bomb site. Draken keep him in occupied, and here comes Flush and enter in, and actually even jumping, Exist saves his life. Got B out of ammunition, is going to fall away. Fnatic is going to have that bomb site, but potential to lose a couple more players down the stretch here. Smoke is keeping Draken alive for the moment. He's got to be loving life with his new jersey on at the moment.
Oh, until then. That's a nice little pickup. I don't know if God B's going to be able to keep hold of that. He is lucky to be alive, 1 HP.
I think the one saving grace might be, you know, if you're Fnatic, you want to take the AK out of Tabson's hands, certainly, but you don't want to commit too much to it. So if Tabson maybe just gets one kill, it might kind of force Fnatic back, and they're going to have a rifle the next round anyway, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's going to be extra economy, obviously, which you never want to allow. You want to take that away from your opponents, but it's not worth, you know, throwing 3 bodies at the problem and losing all of them. So if Tabson can have just a little bit of impact, there's the first... Oh, no, not at all.
That was awkward.
Talking some smack. I could tell. Can't even speak the language.
3-0 to Fnatic. Good start. Got a little dicey in a couple of moments, but overall they've kept it together. They've been pretty robust. Big did a bit of damage here and there, but for all purposes, Fnatic have done what they needed to. A good solid start. We don't know what to expect really from their cash performance. I think amply said on the desk, the map pool does sit theoretically with a little bit of a lean towards Big under the assumption they actually turned up to the same degree you'd want. But Fnatic still so much to see with these guys that they can achieve. It's going to be tricky. So let's see how this one goes. See what Fnatic brings into this first integral round here.
Next wants to get aggressive. Flush is not aware of this whatsoever. Flashbangs rain in. Gabi with the opening kill. That's out towards Boost. Tabson now going to jump up. That's a good trade from Crims. Mid-control in the favor of Fnatic, and they've dropped away from A, which gives complete control over towards next. Tabson is going to be called upon. It's his number, and JW takes down 2.
How? They just lined up. Tizian and Tabson both being caught there. A shocker of a moment. Now next, JW's looking like he's got a bit of a hot hand in this round. He's already just somehow managed to. Does get outdone by Nex, though. So Nex is holding on to Highway. It's his Highway. Doesn't want to give that up for anything. 8 HP, though, is not much. Smooya's on the run. He's trying to get there to help him out, but might not have the time. Next, though, the timing on this could be huge. Draken working his way up. Highway, can he deny anyone else? No. But Smooya is now by Truck. He could potentially watch this. Draken's got the bomb towards Highway, turns the flash, spots one, but not quick enough. Flusher too strong for that. And the first gun round does go Fnatic's way.
I ripped his face off. That is nice shooting from Fnatic. They didn't even need to take those duels up Highway initially. That almost kind of gave up the round back towards Big. But brilliance from JW and mid-control established by Fnatic. And that's just so much pressure for such a long time that the defense has to contend with. Tabson not able to get aggressive. And yeah, this is a little bit of luck goes his way, obviously. He'll take that to the bank all day long. 4-0. Now we're starting to see the half buys come in. CZs with armor. Second round, they bought the upgraded pistols without the armor. This time, they have the cash and the losing bonuses building up to kind of help mitigate some of these losses, some of these expenditures. JW, nice tap away at Tabson, finds him again. He spots one more towards Highway box, and might not even matter. The B bomb site is now open. The bomb is far back. Fnatic being cautious. Next could make a play here, but it'd have to be some kind of a play to bring this round back into contention.
Flush is already considering it. That's the scary thing. God B might make the jump, but it doesn't matter. JW is coming in and he's cleaning up. This is huge performance from him. Even in these rounds, he's just tearing them limb from limb. This is a scary JW with that rifle.
Think about the impact he's had. He had those 3 kills on the pistol round, coming over Boost, taking mid-control. He then had double kill, a line up on Highway in that first gun round, and a couple kills here. But I mean, just in the first 5 rounds, he's really put Fnatic on his back in a big way, even if he hasn't leapt off the scoreboard quite yet. 5-0, full losing bonus in the favor. Well, I say favor. Big has allowed the losing bonus to build all the way up. So for that, they're going to switch into double off. Smooya's got one. That's going to head over towards the B bomb site. Tabson has the other, and he's got that in mid. And that'll be a point that Gabi wants to emphasize is, how do we stop Fnatic from taking mid? They've been able to exploit it a number of times already.
It's got to start now. 5-0 starting to look a little one-sided. It's, you know, pistol round, gun round, favorable. Not too surprising, but Big need to stop it now if they want to start building themselves into this to try and get some money going. And it looks like that first bit of contact towards mid could be building soon enough, depending if they do take a little bit of a late look towards Boost or Crim starts to linger out through middle. But Flusher toying with Smooya by B as well. Crim's being caught off there. Bit of a play comes through. The flash did not catch him. Smooya, though, is blind and has to be careful now. Flusher outdid him before. He can certainly do it again. You don't want to mess with this man. Smooya trying to change up angle, but he doesn't fancy it. Going to fall back towards site.
I don't need to commit to that fight with a man advantage. Good call by Smooya, but look at Draken. He's the next one up. Hasn't got the op in his hands quite yet. And fighting at this range against the double op defense of Big is pretty dangerous, but the bomb is going to work its way back towards the B bomb site. Flush is going to be there joining him, and Draken now, he's pushed in towards connector to cut off rotations. You even have JW flanking over at A. Now, the problem with this is you don't have great strength on the initial hit towards the B bomb site, and they do have to initiate contact. It's that or Draken lurking out, but they're prepared for it. So JW has to create something. They have to force some kind of a rotation, and that's not enough. Tabson had his eyes on it, read the play the whole way.
That was great from Tabson, even with that pressure from JW, from door, the nades, everything he was throwing out there, still held on. Smooya as well wants to prove that he can deny a bit of this, exist, tries it, Smooya has none of it. That's big work, and with 8 seconds, it's time to back off. JW can't get stepped towards this one. And as you said, they needed that B hit to really come through, or maybe that mid look, any of what they were trying to do to work out, none of it came to fruition.
That was the problem. Either JW had to get a kill lurking at door, or that B hit had to be, you know, the instigator of that round for Fnatic. They were just too spread out, and the lurkers, without any kind of contact at the main bomb site, can't force any rotations to really allow those Draken to have any kind of effect in connector. The 2 AWPs get 4 kills for Big in that round, so the heavy investment pays off for them. Fnatic gave him some gifts. About 3 of those were just dry walks, dry peeking, and heads-up dueling against the op. And against someone like Smooya and even Tabson with the op, it's not going to work out in your favor too frequently. Here we go again. Forced back by the Molotov, uses the smoke, and there's a nice shot from Exist right through the smoke. Just kind of reads the play, able to make it happen. That's one op down, and that's a player down. It's a 5-on-4 advantage for Fnatic.
That's a really sick beginning for Fnatic here. Such a freebie as well. Bit of damage coming back in with the utility, maybe a bit of spam coming through as well, but we still have JW with an AWP on the T side, apparently. Going to pick that one up and try and run with it. tabseN try to create that quick opportunity, but tiziaN, he's right there. They're being proactive in trying to greet this, trying to find a way back in, but now Smooya's in trouble. Look at that positioning from flusha, Exist, Draken. They're all working their way around. I think Smooya's realizing he could be kind of, I guess, folded upon here if he did stick around by the close fence, but he has fallen back towards the back of the box. Got B with a nade, could be well timed towards flusha. Good damage, but again, big teetering on the edge. Good equalizer to drag it back favorably towards Big's side of things, but can Smooya hold on towards B? This could be nice. Spots one. The call's gonna be made. They know what's happening. That's a problem. Exist goes down, and now he knows there's another here as well. He's read this play well. Maybe Crims, though, could be a factor towards middle, but he has to be incredibly active in this. He's got to do it quick. 35 seconds. Can't achieve it. tiziaN again on the play, and Smooya denying on B. Big holding on here. I was getting worried. That looked like Fnatic had just adjusted around them really well, put them in uncomfortable spots, but no.
It felt like Fnatic had the positioning that they needed. They had kind of where they needed to be across the map in the 5-on-4. This is great from Exist, just spamming through just in case, blinded up, and he knows likely that's going to be followed up with some kind of a push, and he's able to pick one off, but they still can't close out that round with the advantage, which is scary. Those ops for Big are doing some work. Smooya has a great round there. The previous round was 4 kills for the AWPs. Fnatic has to do a better job of making them uncomfortable with smoke, put flashbangs in their faces, or else these will run rampant. It's going to be an A-hit here. They're lining up for the set piece. That's just tiziaN. He's at forklift, might decide to fall back, uses the Molotov to keep himself safe, but JW doesn't care about your fire, runs right through it, sacrifices himself, but here's tabseN now holding the cross and right through the smoke. He saw the position of Crims and was able to complete it with no vision.
The question of depth does start to arise now for Fnatic. How much do they have to go to on this map? Do they have that T-side, adjustment available, or is this what they can work with? We're going to find out in a couple of moments, because this round looks like it's somewhat in the bag for Big, unless flusha rolls back somewhat of the years here in a 1v4. No utility, nothing aside from a bomb plant to go his way. tabseN's close, next, God B, they ain't far away at all. First bit of contact made. A bit of utility used, isolates one, but look at the damage he's received. Tries to swing out on it, does the best he can, but it will be 3 alive and a defuse and around on the board now for Big.
That's a nice retake. Good play from tabseN. Just the shoulder peek to have the information, doesn't commit to the fight, keeps him blocked in even with the dink. Again, though, Fnatic find that opening kill and actually have access to the bomb site. It's just narrowly shut down by tabseN. A heroic effort from him to keep them out of the site a little bit longer. Fnatic losing 3 in a row now once Big got the losing bonus, once Big got the economy. And yeah, he just barely spotted Crims as he disappears into the smoke. JW had some luck earlier. tabseN gets a little bit of love that time.
You can see the money is beginning to dwindle here for Fnatic already. Crims does have full utility, full armor, but just the hand cannon. Yeah, not the end of the world. Still very good at it. Smooth. You feeling a little spicy over here by B. Playing very close to that smoke in a round like this. Godby's got his back. Wonder if there's a flash to set this up or something Godby's going to put into play. Maybe just jump spotting from the box, see if there's anyone in towards Sunrim, but Fnatic are still there.
Look at the read, though. Look at the call from Big. Having 3 players at the B bomb site, you have tiziaN and Connector can have a very fast rotate, and all of it off the back of the fact that tabseN's got an angle in towards A main. As long as he's here, they're not really going to feel like they need to rotate anyone off. Exist down to 11 HP as well. Good start of the damage. Even a 4th player coming over towards B. Big is very committed to a stack on this side of the map. That just means more than anything. Tough part is tabseN does have control of A main, right? But he's pushed up pretty far. He can't retreat. That's like a fighting battle. Like, you fight to your death here. And if he goes down, if he misses a shot and dies, that A bomb site is so weakened.
Yeah, tiziaN's keeping 2 places in check as best he can. First bit of, I guess, jostling towards tabseN does come through, and you can see the pressure on highways making him second guess himself as well. do have Tizian now adjusting around playing from the site. This is all posturing though from Fnatic. They are still heading back towards B, where it's just Smooya on the site. Godby's backed away a little bit, spams through by Checkers, but this will solely come down to Smooya. If he gets outdone, if he gets overrun, this could be a problem, but there's no utility really left on the T side here. So they are in a little bit of a pickle. Godby's already found Exist, but can they get that firepower coming in for them? Fnatic need it to start landing, but the time, 18 seconds. Smooya takes a swing, he gets one, can't follow up quickly. Crims is still alive and kicking, but for how long? They're down to 2 players, 10 seconds left, and it looks like Big, again, have answers here. And they've done it with some decent fashion too. 4 alive, good, proactive reads, putting players left, right, and center on the map. They are not being static at all.
Not a single player from Fnatic wanted to attack that bomb site, though. No one tried to make progress on it. The closest player got in that corner right by the ramp, right by those first boxes, but no one actually pressuring Smooya in the site. He's allowed to buy time, he's allowed to throw utility, take peeks as he wishes, and at that point, he's already got his reinforcements rotated over. Even though Big busted up that stack, they came back to it very quickly. A good read, as you can see Godby there, encouraging the troops. He's got them on a 4-round run. One away from equalizing the scoreboard at 5-5. And who from Fnatic steps up? Because it's felt... We saw JW was the one initiating a lot of things, and he's quieted down. Obviously not going to be able to have those double and triple kills all the time, but no one else seems to be contributing to any kind of opening. Even the rounds where they've had the picks, you know, the lucky spam from Exist, the trade, the initial fight at Forklift from JW, haven't been able to capitalize on some of those opening kills.
Looks like the nuke's about to land in middle. 1, 2, 3 nades go over. No one's on highway this round, and actually the damage coming back in towards them is massive. Already Exists down so low. And aggression on the CT side, making it very uncomfortable for Fnatic to gain this ground. I'm wondering how much they can fight back, if maybe they can put those CZs to place. Next does need to take care of this door. There are 2 players waiting very readily for this. Tizian, gotta be careful now, put on notice, and there it is. Crims comes in through the door, and now it's Tabson really under pressure. AWP in hand, this is horrifically awkward for him. Smoke goes up, he goes back in for it. JW goes down, the flash was excellent to set him up into play. The nade and the Molotov could cut out Crims, but Exist saves him from A main.
Oh, Crims is somehow still alive. He's gotten out of the flames. He's gotten out of the danger. The bomb is planted now, 2-on-2, and Crims, he's readjusted. This is a beautiful round from him. 3 kills with the CZ. He's opened everything up. Even Exists rotating back around. The problem is the bomb's not planted for them. It's Smooya. He hears the footsteps, sees the jump. He needs to find this kill, and he can't get it. Crims ends it with 4 frags. And that is a beautiful-ish ponytail.
Nice one, Jason. Gotta lower it, don't you? You wanted someone to step up from Fnatic, they do it, and you're just like, nice ponytail.
Listen, when that comes on the screen...
It really took you back, didn't it? It caught you for a second.
Took over my brain in a big way.
Oh, damn. All right, double orbs back out. Big, gonna be reminded this is not one for free, that when these individuals start to rise up, that's when this team gets scary, but it looks like Smooya wants to greet that with some sort of force here. Smokey's going to make that tricky for him, though. Going to have to fall off this one. Flusher in this kind of, not necessarily never-ending battle, but it is that constant back and forth for who gets what done. Smooya getting over the lick of the flames over by B. Him and Godby trying to keep control of that. But mostly, Fnatic are still looking towards A. You do have, you know, Draken around towards A main, very deep at this point. JW toying with the door. Just, again, Fnatic, I'm waiting to see which individual shows up each round, it feels.
That's always been the strength of theirs, right? Is any of them can create something for you. Now they've got a chance with this AWP. They've slowed things down, giving Draken some time to find a mistake from the defense. Not happening quite yet, but that AWP is going to give Crims the confidence to work his way up mid. Meanwhile, Tabson and Tizian again taking over A main. Leg shot onto Exist down to 17. He's got to give up that fight. Molotov comes out just to delay even longer. Big's done a good job of getting some kind of map control on this defense, whether it's usually been A main. They've had it a couple times. Haven't been able to hold mid, but A main has not been a problem for them.
This is a tense moment here between these guys. Crims can really throw a bit of a curveball and make him feel as though it might be that B hit coming in, but with it...
Oh, that hurts. Nice catch.
All right, Crims gone. Still, Tizian postured towards A main. That's nice. But again, that door worked out before. That really compromised this aggression, but that's way cleaner than Tizian had before. Outdoes Flusher, spots him at the door. What? JW found exist? I don't know if that was just some awkward spam coming through the door or something just went awry, but you've got 5 seconds left. The bomb's going towards the side, but there's Draken coming in. That's the AWP you want to be seeing. And now it's a retake for Big. This is good from Fnatic and good after-plant positions, especially this spot. Just holding that cross going to make it very uncomfortable.
Smooya does have a Molotov, but he won't have the angle to throw it into this position, so Draken should have free reign to grab something. Imagine that Molotov will be used for JW. Draken supported his teammates so well. Nice flashbang from Smooya, though, to allow GOB some space. Nades, flashes coming out again. Smooya up on top, able to try and wrap around this bomb site. 2 ops for the Fnatic players, looking for anyone, and Draken finds it. Now they know where Smooya is as well. Oh, with the drop down, the no-scope as well, and JW close to the box. Barrel not showing, and Smooya, it was majestic. But it's not coming home this time.
You've been waiting for that, haven't you?
Ooh. Did that tell you a little bit?
I mean, it's okay when we say it, all right? If I say it, it's fine. If you say it, horrific. It's like a Swede saying it.
Yep. That was nice, though. A little bit fortunate.
Just sticks the barrel down his throat, why not?
It's like a pogo stick at that point.
Yeah, I think that was after the nade that came through there. That's a bit awkward. We do have the pause coming in, but it's discussion time for Big. It feels like Fnatic have worked this back out. Those double ops, it was 4 rounds in a row. It was going really nicely for Big. Shut down.
The wild thing is that it feels like these past 2 rounds that Fnatic have won have been the most Fnatic ways to win rounds ever, because they actually haven't figured it out. They've actually gotten destroyed in the initial exchanges, and then all of a sudden the kills go their way, right? Like JW gets a TK and then finds 2 kills and goes and gets the plant. Draken, I mean, obviously a beautiful play. Nex was kind of inching closer along that wall to stop the plant with only 5 seconds left, and then Draken just knows that's the only danger they really have, so he's covering the angle perfectly. But still, Big has done a great job to get back into this off the back of the double ops, but they're back into the doldrums with their economy. Everyone sitting around 2,000. Gabi the most with 2,500. They'll buy in the next round, but I imagine they would, but it's not going to be the prettiest of buys, and I don't think they'll be able to have the double op that they've relied on.
No, bit of mid-aggression from Tabson, but he does only have a USPS, so I'm not sure what it's really worth. Next. Already gets taken down, did catch one with the Eagle. Not going to be happening. This is clean from Fnatic. Their mid-takes have been pretty good. They're not exactly perfectly clean, but they've got the job done, and that's all you can really ask for at this point. Again, bomb in Flush's hands. Going to be heading down towards A. You do have Godby by the truck, but he's got the CZ. And Smooya taking the longest walk. Oh,
that's a meme.
It's like, guess the AWPer, and I feel as though you'd be able to do it, you know?
Well, yeah, even with the missed shot, bomb site is going to be lost.
It's fine.
Yes, it's all good. You just would have liked to see that hit. Smooya and GOB forced away, and I think they're just going to be looking for any kind of weapon they can get out of this. They would love to find the, what the weapon that JW dropped. You can see they're investigating mid. Draken watching the flank. Crim's now watching for this exact play, and that's an immediate headshot. Crim's had an incredible start to this year, if you'll recall. It really was the joke of rolling back the years. It was like a god-tier Crims that we were seeing. It would be great to have that in this series for Fnatic. 8-4 at the moment. They don't necessarily need it just yet.
Nice to go to, though, if you do require it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at the map pool. Again, if Fnatic do well on this map, you look at Train, you'd think, okay, that's obviously Fnatic's pick. That could play very nicely to them. We don't know how strong they are. We don't know if that would play well into Big. Again, this map pool did seem as though it was a little bit more favorable to go towards Big, but so far we're not quite seeing the full taming of the Fnatic beast. It's occasionally rearing its head, but for now, early test towards B. Flusher's on a mission. He's just going. He's applying a lot of pressure. Normally he's been relatively timid over that side, but no, got B this time, taken very low on the Molotov. Flusher might have just spotted him backing away, so he's going to be able to make those calls, and it's not just him here. Exist is supporting him this time. It was normally a solo, isolated endeavor. Now with support, this could be different.
No, but look, the change of pace has been beautiful. Look how much utility that Big has used at this bomb site. It's got B and Smooya, and they basically have nothing. I mean, Smooya still has his smoke, but they're just down to 1 flash. No Molotovs, no nades. Flush has jumped over. They know he's there. That's restricting the play. Smooya's going to try and get aggressive, and Flusha catches him out. No head armor on Smooya, so he can't continue the fight. And they did spot GOB. Remember, Flusha saw that early on, so he knows he's inside the bomb site, and now it's a free kill. Flusha creating all the opportunities. Molotov going to force away that next defender, and an easy path into the bomb site for JW to get the plant, and now Big has to save.
That was just perfect from Flusha. You said it, the pace switch up from him was great, and the rest of the Fnatic side. And to be able to come up with those 2 kills, even better. Just did so much work. And for now, as you highlight, Big needs to back away. And actually losing out next is not ideal. Their money is in the gutter.
Crims is starting to pick up the pace. 16-6.
You wanted an individual.
Yeah.
You never know who it's going to be, but you're fine when it's Crims.
Oh yeah, you love it. You absolutely love it. Great game from him so far. Is going to have Fnatic with a 5-round lead here as we near the end of this half. tabseN and Tizian trying desperately to hold on to the M4s. They should be able to get away with it. The money's not stellar for Fnatic, even though there's only, what, 2 rounds left. Don't want to just throw anything away. Yeah, that is a very good switch up, attacking that B bomb site. Flusha even ignoring Gabi initially when he spotted him out, just to make sure he could clear checkers and have that position. And that really locked Smooya into playing outside of the bomb site. He wanted to go for that kill. He wanted to clear out that position to mitigate some of the danger that they were feeling towards the B bomb site. Almost got it as well. He's had a pretty solid game defending the B bomb site, usually with the AWP as well. I mean, that's the big thing, is now that they can't afford the ops, we get to see what this defense really has to bring to bear.
Seeing Legia in the back lines, having a chat with him. I'm gonna try and pull him up somewhere, but it's hard to tame Fnatic. It's not like you can just get an easy read on what they're doing. It's far from simple. How do you just acquire one player? It's not easy. We'll see if they've got any sort of theory in mind. Obviously, Fnatic having a chat too, but we are going to be going back in for the final throws of the first half. This being a best of 3 now. It's not just about that one map. That's what we've really seen from these teams so far as well. We haven't seen too much into what they're bringing into Cologne, but that's all going to change after this, and it could be a little bit more of a lean towards A, as it looks like this could be a bit of a read, or just maybe a bit of a lucky gamble in the fact that actually Tizian and Nex are going towards the right place, and Flusha blinded goes down, and that's the bomb.
This is very cool from Big. This time a door push Molotov. Surely that's going to reach Tizian. He drops into the corner where the flames don't reach him, and JW pressuring. He also can't push forward to find this kill until the fire subsides. Tosses the bomb away, doesn't clear it fully. Might have thought that Tizian didn't go there as there was no one exiting. Thought maybe the flames would reach it. Even this one as well. This is the most stubborn Molotov corner I've ever seen.
He's just got some sick fire resistance gear on. Like, what is that? How has that happened? Draken, you've got to kill him. You've got, please somehow just take him out of this corner. The bomb's still stuck there as well. Draken could pick, oh, and the spam taps around the back. This is a huge blunder from Fnatic. They just got so tunnel visioned on that. And this was around where they didn't have much Big. They had 2 rifles, I think.
Yeah, if you're Fnatic, though, you do kind of have to tunnel vision on that. You can't let them keep that extremity, especially with the bomb down. So it just got so bad for Fnatic. They're aware now the boost is a possibility. They're aware they haven't taken tabseN out. Tizian is somehow still alive. He's still gaming and not going to be able to find anything else. Lived perhaps longer than he should have. Crim's attention was taken away, and Exists not aware of the peak from boost. So he's got to go right at Nex, who's going to find the headshot. And outside of the ops, that's been one of the strengths of Big, is taking map control towards the A bomb site. Usually it's A main, this time it's over towards door, and it yields results. So a nice bold call from Gabi gives Big a 5th.
10-5 or 9-6. It always feels really different on the scoreline, even though it's literally 1 round difference. You know what I mean? As well as you said.
Yeah,
like,
mentally it does feel a little...
No one likes playing against double digits. We are seeing the double ops. It's worked. We'll see if it keeps working now. Smooya, this is dangerous, but apparently it's fine. They did not expect that much aggression. He's been doing this, but they haven't really been able to see this much. But here's some sort of aggressive posturing towards A as well. Tizian with a smoke over the top means he doesn't have to move out of position too far. Good flashes, good utility usage to try and slow down Fnatic, but they might just go through this. Exist is trying for it, but with all these smokes up, it's very hard to work out what's been seen, what hasn't, what's available. But this boost, oh, that's naughty. I don't think Big's going to expect this one. I'm wondering who's going to be able to get a glimpse of this, or simply, you just do not expect it. I think Nex might have been, well, he might have spotted it, or he might just be curious as to where the hell that just came from.
That's such a cool idea, but it's almost so dangerous for the T side as well, even though you don't expect it as a defender. Look at all the different spots JW had to monitor for a potential pick. You can lose track of that very quickly, and this time it's a little haphazard on the entry attempt from JW. Can't control it against Nex. And now no one needs to peek towards A main. Exist is just hoping for it. A 3-on-5. You're praying for a mistake from Big. That's just not coming. Now Draken's turn. He's the next one up.
Ooh.
tabseN looks like he wants to go for this peek. The opportunity is there, but Draken gives it up. Maybe a bit fortunate as well. God B was directly to his left in the corner. Could have been traded very quickly, but more jump spotting for information. And the defense knows exactly what's happening.
Can they hold it? Exist does find next, but that's about it. Draken now left in the 1v4. The man's got flair, he's got style, he's got it all, but I don't know if he's got this round. Can't catch Tizian in the heels on the way out, and tabseN denies it, so it will be that 9-6 scoreline. Now, Big still lead, but they did win that pistol, they won the first gun round, and they were back and forth into this, but there was a decent run in there for Big for some time.
All off the back of the ops, remember. That double op setup was very nice. Got them 4 rounds in a row, and then once they get the ops in their hands towards the end again, they get those 2 rounds just to keep this a close affair. 6 rounds on the CT side. Nothing to turn your head at. That's quite a nice performance from Big, especially considering the way it started. So we've got a game in our hands here, as it's still Crims leading the way, 17-8 for him. JW at 11-9. On the other side, it's tabseN and Tizian with 11 to lead the way. Your boy Smooya at 9 kills.
Just because he's British, isn't it?
Yes.
All right.
That's all you guys have got.
Well, to be fair, this is like any time an American team makes it to like a stadium, it's like, get Jason on the interview. He's American. He'll love it. Do you have hope again, Jason?
I know. It's fun.
You know, we just get reamed out for it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, Big, you gotta love the T sides when they've really nicely constructed them. That's what you're hoping for a little bit here. I don't know if we're gonna get it. Again, it's all nice in theory, but then you could always just have someone like Crims just dumpster you, but for now, it's a bit of a mid-take coming in. The high smoke towards the top of highway, isolating the player, playing down by the box. They have taken out Draken, but Flusha didn't really want to get involved into that. The success for Fnatic thus far has been Exist over by B.
And look at the assumption from Fnatic as well. Once they lose control of mid, you saw a rotation, immediately someone coming towards Exist at the B bomb site, expecting that B split to come in. I'm actually surprised to have seen Draken contesting in mid for that long. And Crims is taking a big risk here, turning the corner, exposed to A-Main, exposed to Squeaky Door. Ooh, he's going to spot 1. That's great damage to tabseN. Now spots the door opening. He sees 2 more. He's brought down very low. He's got no more options except to buy time for his teammates. They might just get here at the correct moment. There goes tabseN, but the bomb site is lost, but all the kills coming towards Fnatic's way.
Tizian has to defend this. The bomb's gone down, but look at the damage coming back in. It's just on God B now. 1v2. They line up, but it doesn't matter. JW comes in with some fire on this one. 3 kills that round, and they were big kills as well.
6 kills for him across the 2 pistol rounds. He got the 3 entries on the T side as well. Nice pistol work from J-Dubs. And they've got both. 10-6 now for Fnatic. A good retake, a nice, quick, aggressive retake. They got there just in time to get enough kills on the cross from Big. And I feel like Big indeed it seemed like they did want to go for that B split. When they had control of mid, but they lost the B player, it seemed like they didn't really entirely know where they wanted to progress to next. Still with the bomb plant, though, so I imagine we'll see a pretty light purchase here from the offensive side, and then eventually in the next round, we'll get the AKs dropped over. We'll get the rifles out early for Big, as they're trying to stay into this fight on cash.
One smoke, a whole lot of P250s, and on the other side, a very nice looking investment. Aside from Flusha, who has very little. But outside of that, there should be the follow-up for Fnatic. There should be their continued success here. Nade to come over. Just a little later, or sorry, excuse me, a little earlier. That could have caught tabseN pretty nicely, but Flusha receiving the damage, going to fall away on highway, doesn't want to get overrun. tabseN with the P250, trying to clear it out, and they do, actually. So far, actually taking a bit of mid-control, but it's how do you get further than that with just P250s? And that seems to be where Fnatic are shutting this down. JW, Exist, all doing well. Draken as well doing a bit of damage, and this is a shutdown. Big not really getting too far into this. Bit of a fight towards middle, but that was it.
That might be one of the least tactical rounds you'll ever see Big play. Just kind of everyone going everywhere across the map trying to make something happen. Didn't seem like there was really a plan, but either way, it's all fine because it's all for the next round. It's all for those AK-47s as JW finds Tizian. They would have liked to have gotten some kills in that round just to keep the money honest for the Fnatic side, but it's not to be. Here it comes. 3 AKs purchased up, 1 Galil on Tizian, so he can have a full kit of utility. God B might go the same direction as he's sitting at 3,800, right on that edge. Six to 11 as Big goes to get started. God B calling one last tactic coming out of spawn. JW and Exist going to be holding on to that B bomb site together. Flusha and Draken in mid initially, and it's Crims defending it A very early on by his Lonesome. And a boost in defense shows that Fnatic wants to keep control of middle. They're expecting some kind of a mid-control play. positioning JW and Flusha to have a crossfire from highway box and from the vents. No smokes left on Fnatic. They used them all. All 5 are gone. They have Molotov on Exist over towards B, but they've got some nades, some utility use of this A bomb site. Here's the hit.
Yeah, the quick top of highway smoke did come through, so the players in the site are a little bit isolated, but you can see the support coming in. Flusha tries to get there in time, but he gets caught by tabseN, already predicting that sort of position. And now the T-side try and build up. Krims is still alive, and he's been huge for this team, as is JW. This might be where the line stops, but Next still bullies his way through, pushing further forward. As we are to the 2v2, JW so low, but still doing so well. tabseN gets deleted, and you know you're frustrated as hell at that one. And they backed away from the site here. They're going to make this really uncomfortable. Next, what can you do with this?
That pre-fire was about all JW could do in that situation. 6 HP, he can't take a heads-up duel. And then he falls back to mid and makes the jump over the box to get the quick flank coming in. Next has read that, but the timing's not with him, and now he's been spotted out. JW is having himself a game. He's got 3 kills in this round to finish off. It's going to be a 12th for Fnatic, and the early purchase is denied for Big.
That's some scary CS from JW, isn't it?
That's old school JW. I like that.
I just love the way how quick he was at knowing he wanted to get round the back towards A main, and just that's the best place for me.
That pre-fire on Forklift is incredible. He did not have the health to even miss a bullet. And yeah, I mean, he gets fortunate, you know, spray, the RNG, whatever you want to call it. But just to make that kind of a play when you're trying to just fall back, that's beautiful stuff. 12-6, half buy from Big. They did get the plant. It's going to help mitigate some of the spending in this round, but 4 players towards the B bomb site for Big. JW is going to be tested. They're going right at him, and he's, as I said, he's having himself a game, so this might just be him padding the stats. Playing at the box, there's the flashbang. He's a little bit blind, but they come around. Now he gets full blind. He's just holding the trigger. They've lined up for him. He gets fortunate. Exist is going to be able to clean off the 4th player. It's just down to tabseN. A nice hold, but he's making this interesting. 1-on-2, he's got a chance, but Draken there, pushing out, not expected. Shuts it down before tabseN can even begin on the clutch.
And they're starting to have fun, and that's a Fnatic you dread to see, just like everything's coming up their way. You've got JW just like, I'm in the right place. Have fun, guys. Now the purchase is going to come up from Big. This time it has to count, otherwise I've got to say, you know, put a fork in it. It's kind of done. No AWPs on the T side, or rifles coming through. We do have Draken obviously on his, but that's not surprising. They're having quite the CT side here. So, let's have a little look as to who's up to what. Curious if Big have any more to bring, but it feels like the win conditions that were set early on by the analysis desk for Fnatic, they were a little slow in the start, but now we're seeing those individuals rise to the occasion.
Yeah, they really did seem to get stumped by the double ops, but obviously they overcame that, and then now on the CT side, just seems like, you know, they're very quick on the rotates. 4 in a row for them. Look at that. Another nice shot from Draken as the flashbang comes in. A 4-on-3 scenario. And JW hasn't even stepped up to the plate, and that's not great for as good of a game as he's had. That is an awkward exchange from him, and Gabi puts him out of his misery. Exist is going to start to push forward, gain some ground over towards this B bomb, so he does have one in Sunroom. That's Smooya just waiting patiently. Hasn't heard the footsteps, doesn't clear to his right. Easy kill on the push in the flank, and this might just be the go signal for Big. You can see Draken trying to hustle to get over, but they realize if Exist is pushing out in that way, he's likely the only B defender, but look at Draken. He's gotten here so fast, so bold. They're going to have no idea he's inside this bomb site. They're going to turn this corner. Oh, he's blinded. That late flash, and now they know. Nice peek from Gabi. Good patience from Big.
They're trying. They really are. You can see they're still going through every step there, even with the site seemingly under their control. Krims, though, are you going to destroy all of this? 1v3 would be heartbreak, but money's on a bit of a lever, but
Money's terrible. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. And he does go down. So 2 stay alive for Big, obviously none for Fnatic, and the round goes on the board for Big. It feels like maybe they can keep stringing that together, but at the moment it does look as though Fnatic, even though their money is a bit broken now, you feel that they can still maybe cheekily get around just because it's Fnatic like that.
Oh, why'd they choose this for the replay? That's so mean.
To be fair, in chat, he did just say HP got B, and it just, you just see like the awkward like,
79, and he's like, oh, so not even close.
I just whiffed it, didn't I?
We've all been there.
So they're telling yourself like,
yeah,
please.
exactly. One save here for Fnatic. P250's Deagle's purchased up, but this is a great chance for Big to get back into the game, although
they're
going,
this.
Yeah, they're going right at a stack, aren't they?
They have no presence elsewhere on the map as well. Big could be walking into the blender.
The name, in the words of Samuel Jackson, hold on to your butts. Jurassic Park, good movie. Here we go, Tapson gonna lead the way in. Utility is being used, they're all blind, and Tizian and Tapson open it up, and that should spell the end of the danger here. Might be a little bit shocked to find all 5 players at the bomb site, but...
They got it. They're okay. There was a little bit of, like, you know, as said, holding on to the butts.
Yeah. Could all be a little bit worried when we saw that coming in.
Yeah.
This round is big. This is actually. Well,
I hate their names for this. Everything becomes.
It's not our fault. It's theirs. This is now like one of the last chances that it feels like they have to get back into this. If they can win this round, break the economy one more time, then they're very much within striking distance. All of a sudden, that gap, that 5-round gap that we see up there, is going to close very, very quickly. And it's not like that's out of the realm of possibility. The AWP on Draken, but there's no utility. There's no kits on this Fnatic side. They're going to start running low on their nades. And remember, they were very smoke happy in different rounds of this half, where they're just used very quickly in the round.
Smoke happy.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought it was good.
And they've gone for a heavy lean towards A. You put 3 players there. Flusher kind of worked his way up on highway very quick, but it's not a bad read either. You've pretty much got 3 of the players there, but smoke going in. Spray to follow. Door gets opened, and looking at Nex and Smoothie, they are on the way, so this could be a bit of a choreographed hit towards A at this point. We are going to be seeing the smokes being lined up, and we'll see who can get away with what here for Fnatic. How much pressure are they under? It does seem as though a lot is being used. Tizian finds Crim straight away. Draken blind, gets the timing right though. That's great from him, and Flush is still there towards Tizian. So even with all this smoke, all this utility into play, you can see the high smoke there on the side. Everything, it doesn't seem to matter because Fnatic are still doing this sort of work, and you've got to almost feel for Big in a moment, but Fnatic just saying, well, a big F you to all of this. God B now, 1v2, he's got a flash left. Gonna pop that up now. Tries to catch him. Oh, it doesn't work out so good.
Got himself pretty well. Bomb does get planted. Now he's got to isolate the 1v1. Draken's going to watch this side of the box, though, and there's so much time on that bomb still that Draken's going to be patient with. It exists creeping up into the bomb site. They both know. There's the pick. Gabi gets nothing done. Tries to hold strong. JW just stone cold played that inside the smoke. Spam going on each side of him, and he's just waiting and pops through as soon as the spam is done to kill Nex in the plant. That's got to be frustrating.
Again, it's like, theory's nice for Big. Love the, you know, the big execute, smokes everywhere, all that. It's like, no, Fnatic do not care.
Yeah, no, not even a little bit. They've been spitting in the face of Counter-Strike theory for like five years now. In a good way.
Yeah.
Good kind of spit.
Oh, God.
Draken with a couple nice kills here at the end, and obviously finding Gabi as well. 14-8. Would have been a big round for them to win. Not able to handle it.
No, and as well for Big, you can imagine that's one of the frustrating ones. That's the ones that can kind of put you a little on tilt there. It's like, well, we kind of thought we did it right, but we got Fnatic, so couple more rounds and Fnatic lead this matchup. Best of 3s obviously into play, but this isn't a bad sign.
Smoothie is watching for this.
Smoothie, but for how long is he watching for it? Oh, no, exist! That would have been a little too much. Smoothie, though, now knows there's at least 2 on the site, or at least there were, but
I wonder if that shot from Exist when he was in the air was like an accidental tap of the trigger. Because he kind of gave away the game.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Is it okay?
Yes, it is okay. 14-8. As Smoothie with that pressure from the boost, they all readjust towards the other side of the map. You have Nex in those main boxes. Boost up coming in, want to go for some late mid control. Flushes here. There's one player inside the vents. That's JW. Had a tough time with this angle last time, but surely wants to redeem himself. And Molotov kind of gives away the position. He spotted the fall from Tapson. He can drop a flashbang, but Tapson's actually already got past him, and he should know. Now he needs to call out to his teammate, but he's going to go hunting for it. Make sure he bails his teammate out with the cover of the Molotov. That's beautiful. Now all Big have left is the hit on towards A.
And you've got Flusher, you've got Draken, you've got Crims all standing to attention, and there's the first denial. Gobi steps forward. Tizian is doing okay, but beyond that, they still have the bomb in such an awkward predicament. You need someone to deliver. Smoothie, I don't know how you're still alive or getting away with that sort of thing. And there's the final blow. It's Fnatic looking stronger, and honestly, Big looked a little desperate at the end then.
They really did. Well, they lost so much on the initial contact. Obviously, the kill in towards mid on tabseN from JW, but also because Draken got a pick, because they were having success from Truck, Crims didn't have to show himself whatsoever. They had no idea he was there. So even if they get into the bomb site, they just don't have the manpower to clear it out and safely get the bomb planted. So he was the insurance policy the whole time. Nice shot here from Draken. Ooh, even disappearing backwards in towards the smoke. And double kill from Crims to end things. Had to stick that plant with just 7 seconds left. And now desperation from Big. Backs against the wall. It's 15-8. They've got a Galil. They've got a Mac-10. And they're just going to go right through the smoke. Barrel through. Crims is waiting. He's blind, but they haven't cleared it. He spots next. Now he sees them all jumping out. There's one kill. Follows up onto Smooya. And now even as he gets blind, he spots next the last second. And Crims has shut it all down. The only defender here, and he's done so much work.
It's all fallen apart for Big, really, hasn't it? They try to go for something, but Fnatic in every turn seem to be one step ahead. Tizian trying to equal out something, but they've still got such a long way to go, and JW has been sublime in these sort of spots. And look at that from him, just making it so difficult. Now Tizian left in the 1v2, going, what? How is that how that goes? All right, cool, yeah, give him the lineup.
Listen, when you're down 8-15, you need something to go your way to get you started. They do line up for him, a little bit of a misplay fundamentally from Fnatic. No one swinging wide on that engagement inside the bomb site because they knew exactly where he was as well. Both kind of creeping out slowly, and Tizian's given a gift. Even time to reload as well. Draken holding with the AWP, and Exist just stepped right in front of him. A little bit unfortunate, 15-9, and now to the other side of the map we go. And again, it's a stack for Fnatic. Here we go, one more time. Flush is blind, he gets taken down. They're gonna go right through this smoke, though. They don't care. Everyone's flashed, self-flashes, and they just want to try and end this. They want to do the uppercut. And for a moment, it seemed like Fnatic was gonna slow them down, but there's just too much firepower on Big and not enough on the Swedes. Draken is left all alone as Crims comes in. One last kill. And a knife. Nice.
Sorry, what did you say? Nice.
DDK impression. Nice.
It's pretty good. 10-15. Big pulling it back a little closer. It's one of those games where it feels like Fnatic have had quite the upper hand for some substantial amount of time now, that it's hard to see a world where this turns. Even when Big had the money, they had, you know, the full executes, it feels like Fnatic still have that weird little gear that they have, just like, which individual is going to turn up and batter the opponent now? So if they can maybe tame it, all right, there's a game on. But that's these 5 rounds in between feel like quite the way.
Pretty patient from both teams across the map, no one being the aggressors for the moment. Smoke's gonna clear in mid. Flush is just waiting patiently, and it's refreshed. Sees the bullets from Nex. That SMG has got to be making him feel nervous, and actually Fnatic has just given up at the B bomb site. They're gonna focus over towards mid. That B defender is rotated around towards Connector to have the op there. Another smoke coming into play. Perhaps that's the rotation. You come in for the smoke, and Exist rotating back towards the B bomb site. He's got to be cautious as he re-enters, and JW almost able to find tabseN. That would have been great. It's not going to happen, but another refresh of the smoke in mid. That's got to be frustrating for Big, who it's obvious they've wanted to line something up, some kind of a hit, and they're going to have to come through that, I think, and that means Flusha could have a chance. He's got to get close to the smoke, though. tabseN dropping down, picked out of the sky. Nex is up next, and he's even getting taken down through the smoke. This is, I mean, you want to talk about rolling back the years with JW and Crims. Flusha as well through the smoke is doing some work.
That's not how you want to lose the first map, is it? To an SMG and Flush is just playing on the edge of smoke. Smooya trying to find an angle. He's been spotted by JW, though. That's risky, to say the least. But while this happens, Exist is still on the site. He's got down God B. Smooya's desperate to try and make up for this, but time, 8 seconds, 7. Maybe they're holding on to this. 5 seconds left. Can they get the bomb down in time, though? 3 on the board. Smooya, he gets the tag, but not the frag, and that is going to be surely all she wrote. Devastating.
1 HP on Crims as well. It doesn't get much closer to Big trying to keep their hopes alive, but 16-10 will close out. A nice game from Fnatic start to finish, and we saw a little bit of everything. A little bit of J-Dubs, a little bit of Crims, a little bit of Flusha. It was beautiful.
Yeah, this bodes for a fun game coming up into the future. I can't wait to see what the series brings. I thought this could have been maybe Big's map to pull forward in, but not the case at all. Train now looms in the background, but before that, we'll be heading to a break, I can imagine, and then we'll be hearing from the analysis desk.
ESL One Cologne. Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?